and gentlemen, if you haven't met me, I'm Adam. I'm the first AD, and welcome to the set of 222. This is a very ambitious shoot. We have 3 days to do it, so we're gonna need to kick some serious ass and, you know, kick the tires and light the fires.
Eat off of this lens.
And so if I see us dragging ass, I'm gonna be up your ass with my foot. So just so you know, we mean business here.
First of all, 222 is really, it's the story about a woman who wakes up in the middle of the night and she has no idea what's going on, but her skin is crawling, it's burning, she's terrified, she's screaming, she's in excruciating pain as she discovers through flashbacks what exactly happened the night before.
Pre-production on 222 was a great process. We have a lot of details that we worked into the script, a lot of certain transitions that we wanted, a lot of little things that kind of come through to throw the audience off, trying to figure out what exactly is going on with this girl over the course of the night.
You know, bringing Tara on board as early as possible was a big deal.
It was brought to my attention by Steven about 1.5 years ago. He sent over the script and he's like, I really think that you might like this. And I was just blown away. And to the point that I think I was harassing him for months and months after that. I'm like, when are we gonna shoot 222? When are we gonna do that? And finally he's like, it's time. I was so excited.
Tara came in and, you know, we warned her and we warned her and we warned her that this is what we want, you know, this is what you're gonna have to do. And she came in and just blew us out of the water, you know. It's amazing to be able to find a talent like that that is trusting enough to let you basically take them and mold them into what you want to do, which is what you can only hope for as a director.
I don't think that there was a second of doubt in my mind that when Tara stepped in front of the camera and we rolled on film, that she wouldn't give 200% of her life to this movie.
In order to make it believable, you know, I really had to go back to really horrible places in my life, and not just for the scene. And, you know, when somebody else cut, if as a, you know, a professional talent, I think you'd never really cut. So to the point that if we're shooting a few days from the beginning of the first day till the end of the next, you know, even when I go home, I was having nightmares and, you know, just kind of being in a really somber state. So I think it was just putting myself there mentally and not allowing myself to get out until we wrapped.
How'd the last scene go?
It's hard to keep my eyes open. And a mosquito came and landed right here and was biting me while I was supposed to be dead.
Our lead actress was fantastic, and in a sense, like a film like this, she is in the film literally what, 80% of the movie, or more than that, more than 90% of the film. She's in almost every frame in this movie, with the exception of a male lead. So, and our camera is like right there on her face. So if she doesn't react in a believable way, the whole thing collapses from like the first 10 seconds. It just the whole thing collapses. So that was a concern when I read the screenplay. I was like, I hope we can get. I mean, I seen the picture of Alita. I thought it was very beautiful, but I thought, can she pull this off? And I remember during the first few shots, I realized, okay, that's it. This girl has a range. She can really do it.
I knew everyone was experienced, and I knew everyone knew what they were doing. And anybody who's ever done anything on an independent level, you understand that whether it's, you know, films or music or what have you, you understand that you're going to be involved with projects that people aren't prepared, or they don't really know what they're doing. And this was the first time that I was like, wow, everyone is right on target.
We had an actor who basically bailed the day, 2 days before production began to roll, everything else in place. And we were kind of on a frantic search, and it almost felt like at moments we were going to start sending out mass casting calls for any man who was willing to do a sex scene with a beautiful woman on film. And it just seemed like, for all intents and purposes, no one would do it.
I was on Facebook and I emailed somebody there because I saw the lead actor had dropped out. And so I emailed Steven right away because I've always wanted to work with Steve. So immediately I was attracted to the project.
we were really frantic. And I mean, with 23 hours to go till we started rolling, Adam Lopez came in, and I mean, he's our hero in this movie. If he hadn't shown up, I'm fairly certain that, you know, that would be me up there, and nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, what part do you play?
The chick that gets tied up in her underwear.
That's a question.
Basically, the movie does have a lot of elements in it that are unconventional. We have a lot of nudity, we have some fairly graphic sex, different things that I wanted to portray in the film, not to be gratuitous whatsoever, but to get across to the audience. We want the audience to feel very uncomfortable watching this movie. We want to get an emotional reaction out of them. So we show sequences like these, we show the sexing, and we show the nudity to where people become uncomfortable as they're watching it. That only lends to the overall experience, because as they're uncomfortable and the music's pounding in their brains and these horrible things are happening on screen, we want the audience to feel what's going on with the characters, you know, and to go right along with those feelings that the characters are having, whether they want to or not. They have to. And that really gets the overall power of the film across.
I think, by the way, for the record, I think that everyone else was more uncomfortable about that than I was. Because, you know, I once you derobe, then it's there, and I'd forget, and I'd start trying to talk to people, like, hey man, blah, 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 and then they're like, and I'm like, what's everybody's problem? Oh yeah, I'm naked. Sorry guys.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning, by the way. It's either this, or, you know, go out and drink all night and don't do nothing. So, we're out here making movies.
Good smells of sugar.
Wait, that blood doesn't smell like sugar.
How's the audio, sir?
The audio's doing good. We ran into some gremlins.
Steve starts talking to me about the score, and I'm like, I'm seeing this, I'm hearing that, I read the script, you know, and I was like, you know, it's always a process of like sifting through the gray matter of the ethereal shit. Aurora Borealis, I don't know, you can't explain it. You know, we started talking more, and then, I started to piece it together. Once I got the cut, started editing all that stuff together, it started to come out just exactly how I wanted, like, how I kind of envisioned it, just kind of like madness. Then pretty much, I kind of needed something else though at the end, and Steve had talked about having intense rhythmic pulse, pretty much blasting into oblivion and ripping your insides out. So that's what we decided to do.
We're gonna have blood and guts tonight.
Shh, pictures up. All right, here we go.
You want to have the director as a guide. You know, you want him to tell you exactly what needs to be done or what he wants. So the good thing about Steven is that he had a clear idea of what he wanted. I want this shot. I want this. I want that. And that was great.
It was easy for me to do my job, especially because I had Steven, who was incredibly descriptive with, my motivation and where he wanted the scene to go. Steven was very, very visual to the point that he'll act out a sex scene, before the talent even starts their scene.
He's got a good mind for visuals, and not only he deals with the actors, which is great, but also deals with the visuals. Some directors either go just actors director or just a visual director. With Steven, you get both. We went with high definition the Cinealta F900, which is the one camera that George Lucas developed with Panavision. And in fact, it's the third version of it. And it's a fantastic camera.
We ended up bringing Jose Casella on as our director of photography. He had helped DP a feature for us a few years ago called Andre the Butcher, that I was a co-producer on. And we've remained friends through the years and have wanted to work together again since the project. And this was actually a great time because he had time, we had time, and it all worked out really, really well.
There was always something that we might do together, but nothing really came about until this project came about. And even before I read the project, I knew I wanted to do it. It's like, great, it's great. I have a chance to shoot with someone that has the same passion for filmmaking that I feel I have. And it's just, and I like that. I like working with people that are very creative and very passionate. And when I read the screenplay, I was like, wow, this is it. This is great.
The big difference between the cinematography between the 2 days in the movie is our second day, that's real time, everything is handheld, and crazy and moving, always constantly jumping around. Whereas when we flash back to the days before, everything is smooth on dollies, on sticks, pans and tilts, and pretty movements, to kind of showcase how the character Vicky is throwing, because basically all the camera movement is going through what Vicky is feeling and experiencing at those times.
We're just dancing. It's pretty sweet.
So it feels like this contracting like membrane of like hot sex love. Alright, spread out! Hey, tighten up!
You gotta bite the lip though. You gotta point. You gotta do a lot of pointing. The wink and the gun. I could dance circles around these people.
Rehearsal. To rehearsal.
We also have the toilet cam where our character Vicky is vomiting into the toilet. That our production engineer Birch built this literal full-size toilet with a plexiglass interior that we could shoot the camera through to be able to get that overlying shot.
I have taken a classic toilet. It's a 1975 Swedish-made economic flush toilet that I pulled out of a house in the Keys. And now I'm making a template. As you can see, I've cut the bottom of the toilet off for this really cool scene we're gonna do. And I have to make a template for a piece of plexiglass so that we can shoot the camera up somebody's bum, I guess. I don't really know what the shot is. Yeah.
I get the one in the black. And there's models around, you gotta put out the 5. I know what I'm saying. That's what I did.
What happened?
5 didn't work.
When I stepped on the set those days and when I sat there and I watched playback in the monitor, I couldn't help but be really overtaken and really moved by what everyone was doing and what everybody was believing in to bring this movie to fruition. And I think that when you see 222, you'll see the love and the respect that everybody gave these roles and their roles in making a movie that frankly couldn't have ever been as good as we dreamed without the talent that came together to pull it off.
Boom.